Hey gang, Tony here. I have a video extravaganza that I'm preparing here because I have tons of stuff to tell you and show you because it's been about a week since I've been home. So I have a couple boxes. Got a box of Dread coming, got a trade box from Jared Guy coming, and this video is going to be about the Pocono Comic Expo. I went. So I don't know what order these things are going to go in. I also have a little vloggy kind of thing about my week away at my brother's house. Pet sitting is where I have been. But I did mention this in some other videos, so I don't know, you might see that. I went to the Pocono Comic Expo, and I got some video of that I want to show you, so I'm going to splice it in and out as I'm talking. And have some stuff that I bought that I want to show you. So it was pretty cool, man. I almost didn't go. Okay, I was like that close to not going, which I mentioned in one of these other videos. But at the end of the day, I had like a couple of voices in my head. It was like Devil and Devil, and they were both telling me to go. It was Jason Bonilla and Morgan Brown, Fat Man in the Beard, and they were like, go, go, go. I was like, okay, maybe I'll go. I think I'll go. So, granted, I'm not the biggest comic book fan. Not that I don't like comic books. I totally do. I used to collect them when I was younger. But I am not as in that realm as I am like horror. So for a moment, I was kind of like, oh yeah, I don't really feel like going. But then I was like, there's a comic expo in my town. It was like 30 minutes away from me. That's ridiculous. Gotta go. All right. So I went, and it was really cool. It was really small compared to if I've been to the San Diego Comic-Con and I've been to horror conventions, and compared to that, I mean, this is minuscule. It was one room. I'll show you some of the clip, I'll splice in some video now probably. There's a one room for vendors where they were the comic book artists, a couple of them, and the comic book store tables, and some cosplayers that were signing autographs and stuff. I think there was a wrestler or something there. There were a couple other really cool things, like they had a 3D printer demo, and there was some toys and things. There was a steampunk table where they had some books and different little displays and whatnot. And all that stuff was very, very cool. But it was, compared to San Diego Comic-Con, on the small side. However, at the same time, I was expecting it to be like, all right, whenever you go to a local little thing like this, there's always that possibility. It's a possibility that it's going to be sad sacky. You know what I mean? Like, you walk in and like no one's there, and there's just like a few tables of people like desperately staring at you to come and buy something from them, and it could feel kind of awkward and almost a little bit embarrassing. And yeah, I was a little worried it was going to be something like that. But it wasn't. It was packed. And people were dressed up in costumes, and there was raffles, and there were costume contests. They had a separate room for panels, and then another third room for game tables, which I didn't really do any of because I don't really play games. I would like to, but I haven't, and I don't know anything about them, so I didn't go in there. But overall, really just amazing stuff. Now, one of the reasons I went was because my friend Pete, aka Poverty Man, was going to be the MC. He was involved, I guess, from the ground up, kind of getting the thing together, and he was, I don't know if he was volunteering or paid or whatever, but he was the MC doing the raffles and the announcements and things. I have some video of that as well. I'll show you.
Do the honor of pulling the first number. Get your tickets ready, folks. We got a first winner. It's 854821. Don't be shy. Don't be shy.
Not me. You would know it.
Any winners?
And the thing is, Pete's a good friend, but he is also a rapper, and he was premiering his EP that day. So he finally finished his EP.
Basically, all the tickets in there.
I'm not trying to rip anybody off. It's like we're pay anybody.
What's the raffle item?
And I wanted to go support him and pick up his EP. So that was one of the reasons I went. That's what I got here. NSFA, Not Safe for Anyone, EP. Poverty Man and Sinister Sev. It's got 6 tracks, one of which is a, whatchamacallit, like a skit. And Pete signed it for me. And a little number right there, number 8 out of 200, I believe. Yeah, 8 out of 200. It's real cool, you know. Nice art on the disc as well. And I'm like sincerely a fan of Pete's, Poverty Man. I'm sincerely a fan. He is my friend, but his music is really good. He's a rapper. It's considered, I believe he said, sort of nerdcore-ish. So, you know, if you're into nerdcore, I think you'd probably really dig this. That's one of the reasons that this was at the Comic-Con, Pocono Comic Con, because it's kind of nerdcore stuff. And just really fun music. I always dig his stuff. So I went to pick that up. And I'm actually going to do, I think, a separate video with some, like, not a review, but to, like, maybe a closer look at the disc. So I may do that still. And if not, I'm probably going to at least put some of the music on the background of this video. So if you hear any nerdcore sounding rap, that's Pete, Poverty Man and Sinister Sev. And I will also, I'm not sure if he must have these on sale on a website or something, so I'm going to make sure to have links for that in the description. So if you're down with nerdcore, you want to check this out, if you like the music that's playing, definitely hit the link and pick up a copy. It was only $5, man. I don't know how much it'll be on the website, but at the convention it was only $5. It's good stuff. Alright, next up, I have this thing where I pretty much have to buy the convention t-shirt when I go to a convention. So even though this one isn't like really elaborate or anything, I picked up the Pocono Comic Expo t-shirt. Pretty basic design, but still kind of nice. You know, I dig it. It was only $10. You know, most convention t-shirts I've purchased in the past are at least $20. So at half the price, I thought this was a nice shirt. And, you know, I figure it's a remembrance kind of thing, you know? So that you remember going and you have that kind of memorabilia of the expo. This was the first ever Pocono Expo, Comic Expo. And it was pretty slick, man. I really enjoyed it. Now, here's my... I'm also very weird in the sense that I always save my bracelets from the... from the conventions. So, I don't know. That's just me. You guys know I'm kind of a pack rat that way. This is Pete and Sinister Sev's little postcard thing. You'll see that on the back. Not safe for anyone. You can follow them on Twitter, @PovertyMan, or @SinisterSev. So check them out. What else do I got in here? Oh, there was this one comic artist, painter, and musician, and more, Joy Tanny. Right there. So she had these little, these were free, and then she had something called Zombie Power, and you could get the comic by going to her website, I guess. So I took one of those for that. I wanted to check that out. She had a bunch of Sonic comics, I think she's involved with, that she had there. And yeah, some postcards and things, you know, or business cards, I mean. Alright, so this first comic I paid $1 for. This was literally the only reason I bought it is because I had it when I was younger, and it was one of my initial kind of... I always collected Image comics. That was my thing when I was younger, and I don't know where my copy of this one went to, and this was only $1. You know, it's not in that good shape. I bought it mainly to read, but Savage Dragon #1. I remember this comic so well. In fact, I even remember part of the story. And I saw it in their little dollar bin at one of the tables. And, you know, granted the corners are a little rounded off and it's got a little bit of wave kind of aged to it. So it's never ever going to be worth anything. But I wanted it for the nostalgia. And I mean, come on, check this out. Shazam! That's what I'm talking about right there. First brutal issue, Savage Dragon. So I got that for, yeah, little nostalgia. And then other than that, I basically went around to booths saying the same thing. Hey, can you recommend any horror comics? Because, you know, if I'm gonna buy some comics, I want to be a horror comic. So the first that was recommended to me was this one, Colder. They were having a convention special, so it was $1 off and a free bag and board. So that was alright. It was $3 for that. The Bad Seed. It looks pretty cool, man. I haven't read it yet, so I'm looking forward to that one. Looking forward to that. I felt kind of bad after the fact. I didn't realize until it was too late, but I was counting out my money after the expo, and I realized it kind of caught my eye, but I don't know if you guys get like kind of blindness at conventions. I get like overwhelmed sometimes, and I don't really think. And I remembered then after the fact, I was like, oh, but I was actually paid $1 to take this comic because I handed the guy a 10 for it, and then he handed me back 2 5s and a 1. And it didn't register until later, but so I felt kind of bad, but I was paid $1 for that comic. And then the next one I took from the same place. I bought this. What is this called? Long Pig 68 Bad Sign. It's a one-shot Image comic. I'll tell you, the only reason I picked this one up is because the cover reminds me of Evil Dead a little bit, with the cellar and the... I mean, it looks like it's probably a zombie thing. But it looked pretty decent. And it was a one-shot. Again, $3 for it. So I snuck that out. Got that guy. And then I was running in a little. I didn't want to spend too much money, but I did want to support at least one of the small comic artists that were there. There were three or four comic artists that are like more on the indie side. So I did pick up one, and I feel kind of bad because I don't remember his name, but Iron Horse is the comic. And the guy who was there was actually just the writer, not the artist. He was the writer, and he signed it for me there. He asked me, do you want me to sign it? Some people don't like their comics to be signed on the cover. I was like, sign it! I don't really worry about that kind of thing. And that was everything. So overall, I just had a great time. Got to talk to a few of the comic artists there. Really, all of the comic artists and writers that were there, I did talk to for a little while. I wish I had more money. I could have bought some more stuff. And chatted with some of the shop owners and got some stuff. Got to hang out with Pete a little bit. Get some cool items. And yeah, it was just a great time. So I'm really glad that I decided to go. So I am going to put a little more of the video just to show you guys some different stuff. I got the one video of the 3D printer. There were these really cool toys. They were like sort of steampunk inspired movable toys that you touch and they do stuff. And yeah, and the raffle was going. I'll show you some of the raffle. Anyway, that was the Pocono Comic Expo's first annual, and I'm actually already looking forward to the next. So maybe I'll do this a series every year. Go to the Comic Expo over here. Alright everybody, thanks for watching. I have more videos coming, so stick around. Breathe deep in the night.